who was affected by the Panic of 1873. Have you ever wondered how a financial crisis can ripple through society? The Panic of 1873 is a perfect example of this phenomenon, impacting many groups in the United States, especially after the Civil War during presidential Reconstruction. Let's break down who was affected by this significant event. First, railroad companies and their investors faced severe challenges. Railroads had been a key part of the economy, expanding rapidly with heavy investments. However, by 1873, many projects exceeded actual demand, leading to declining returns. The crisis began with the failure of J. Cook & Company, a major bank heavily invested in railroads. This failure triggered the bankruptcy of numerous railroad companies, with about 55 railroads failing within a year. Investors who had put their money into railroad bonds and stocks lost a lot. Next, the banking sector was hit hard. The collapse of J. Cook's bank caused a chain reaction, leading to many banks failing or facing runs where depositors rushed to withdraw their funds. This loss of confidence in the banking system paralyzed the stock market, which even had to close for 10 days to prevent a total collapse. Many banks defaulted, unable to meet the demands of their depositors, which deepened the crisis further. The impact extended to businesses and workers across the nation. Between 1873 and 1875, around 18,000 businesses failed, including many small factories tied to railroad construction. Unemployment soared, with New York City experiencing a 25% unemployment rate among workers. Nationally, unemployment peaked at over 14% by the late 1870s. Wages fell sharply, and many workers faced layoffs and wage cuts, particularly in the railroad and manufacturing sectors. State governments also struggled due to the economic downturn. Tax revenues fell sharply, forcing some states, like New Hampshire, to seek financial support from private businesses. On a federal level, the crisis created political challenges during Reconstruction. Economic hardship weakened support for Republican policies and Reconstruction efforts in the South, ultimately leading to the withdrawal of federal troops by 1877. This shift had lasting social and political consequences for Southern blacks and the post-war South. Interestingly, while many suffered, the crisis also allowed wealthy industrialists to consolidate their control. Figures like Andrew Carnegie and John D. Rockefeller took advantage of the downturn to acquire competitors weakened by the Depression. By the 1890s, a small percentage of the population controlled a large majority of the nation's wealth, highlighting growing economic inequality rooted in the Panic of 1873. Lastly, the crisis influenced migration patterns. Economic desperation led many immigrants to continue arriving in search of opportunities, while Americans moved westward into new territories. This included prospectors entering contested lands like the Black Hills, which sparked conflicts with Native American nations. In summary, the Panic of 1873 affected a wide array of American society. Railroad investors and companies collapsed, banks failed, businesses closed, and workers faced unemployment. Governments struggled financially, Reconstruction policies were undermined, wealth became concentrated among industrial elites, and migration patterns shifted as people sought new opportunities. This crisis marked a major turning point in the post-Civil War United States, influencing economic, political, and social developments during the late 19th century.